This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens.
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here... I have a cigarette every night when I go over my...
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Well, we inspected the victim's body. So that, I would say our initial inspection was very thorough. Then you shot him in the chest, which wasn't ideal. But we did manage to get him down from the tree. So as they say, all's...
By not ideal, he means he can't believe he let you try that trick and would be angry if he didn't feel the outcome was partly his responsibility.
Being sober tends to help with precision. I still feel like we are missing something. And there's still work.
He's right. You could smell it. That something is missing. Even...
Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean. Very important indeed. Well, we conducted an interview with Everard Claire. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with you.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Well, we will have to work through that. Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. That's normal. It's best not to give it...
Kim must have had doubts about his name at some point too, but deliberately discarded them.
Change? No, not exactly. But I think all of us at some point imagine what our lives might have been. And then we feel trapped by the names we've been given, as symbols of the intentions and expectations of... Even if I were to change my name now, upon hearing any syllable that sounds like Kim in the street, I turn to see who was good. But let's move on to the White Pines rep. No, we didn't. It's very important that we do it tomorrow, latest. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run about. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice? It's impressive, especially for a man your age, and in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green, goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Rebachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. A coalition government, and the moral intern. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the national zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded it. Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum. The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinion. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me. The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him. The lieutenant breathes out a chestnut-scented cloud of cigarette smoke and looks at the city he's sworn to guard.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous.
Do you? We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez, most of them at least, especially the Union. Vigilantes. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. Yes?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. Your hands, however skillful, can't manage this task on their own. You should get your chain cutters out. bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood? Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there, one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick, watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours? No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium. Everything, the pale and the useless, on the surface, the outer magnetosphere, burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. You failed every single one of them. You really fucked up. No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do, even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots of the disco. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed. Stinky boy. Everything. The pale and... You really dropped the ball, Harry. No, you'll be back, stinky boy. not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too, so soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good going, buddy. Yes, wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night. You don't know? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up. It'll come to you. You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think. It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up? You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die. Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired. Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See? A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. The door is closed. Still nothing.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be men who drink beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them. I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it. That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the... In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? Everything points to the dock workers' union. The belt used for hanging him. The circumstances in Martinez. My preliminary, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy. One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Take it easy on him. Deep down, he really hates being the guy who has to remind you.
Just a moment. And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too. To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
You hear that? Someone's missing. There could be foul play afoot. That's right. Now skip the foreplay. Time to dive into the dark alleys. Start shaking down the usual suspects. You know, legwork. Doing some good will alleviate the hangover. At least you're of use to someone.
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them? Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day. There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
The lieutenant doesn't want to agitate the woman. Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but... if you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel. Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more...
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people...
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities...
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but...
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are. I hope I've been useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore...
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Of course, dear.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Bétancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued. The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Trinell, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
This is a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have more for you then. Not yet, but I was able to convince the database people to share private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the...
Let me handle this. Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
No, I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe that's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize...
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we...
She says nothing. Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here.
You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to...
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here. Establish that.
I represent the Union and these men here. Don't make this personal.
A very minor victory.
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people.
Just dock workers. Do dock workers spy on the police? We let you off easy, miss. Don't think it will happen again.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders. Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martin.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence. The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar... They're friends. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return. Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits your answer with,
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by...
Vodka borscht! I love it, bratan!
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. The cook gives you a long, inspecting look, then shrugs too, and seems to wait for you to speak.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello again, sir. Oh, kings and queens and generals of old. Or I think that's why people read them.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Mm-hmm.
again, esteemed officer, and welcome to crime, romance, and by a fridge. No, I don't know anything about a fridge. Aren't you interested in books?
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar.
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop?
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop...
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous. Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Leave the curtains be. It's what it wants. No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains. Why? Not like anyone was killed there. I am sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers. You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel...
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, this is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you, you're unleashing forces beyond your...
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Only an echo. No one is there.
I wasn't kidding when I said we're parapsychologically done. You clearly don't care about the consequences. What gives you the right? Don't expect my help from now on. The back door is locked and I threw away the key. I won't trifle with such forces. Do look at the books, though. The books compel you. You may be able to make up for this by buying a lot of books. I hope you're a voracious reader.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political... I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
She is nobody. It is none of your concern. I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RC.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who'd rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna write...
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. Nothing. To cut back on coffee. No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words. Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent...
Yes. Can we conclude the topic of my...
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
Yes. Like I said, would be up anyway. Yes. King Philip III on his...
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule. Decisively without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. The nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such.
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates. And no one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for...
Right. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting... I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Fine. What do you want now, then?